Hey there guys, this is Jesse with Permofit. So I'm bringing you another project video. This video I'm making a puppy gate, or an extreme puppy gate. Uh, Saw me using my chop saw that was donated to me. Had some problems with the shroud on that. That was a pain in the butt. Here I'm grinding. Uh, I was grinding all the ends, putting a bevel on them so I can get a pretty deep weld. And then I showed the temperature. It was about 23 degrees outside, and as you can tell here, it's fairly cold, and my knees and lower back were killing me by the time I was done with this. At least welding up all of the gate. Uh, I'm not really set up to be doing decent sized projects like this, so I had to do this out in my driveway. I actually have a front facing driveway and a rear facing driveway. The rear one is gravel, and the front one is paved. And up towards the top right of the screen, you can see a little bit. It's old cobblestone. But anyways, so here I'm making sure all my ends are nice and beveled so I can get quite a bit of weld and then grind it flat. I'm using these red 90 degree, 45 degree, I don't know, whatever angle magnets. Those is the first time using those. They are awesome. Previous gate I made a few years ago, I spent so much time using like a speed square and tape measure, making sure everything is plumb and square, and what a hassle. These things are awesome, especially for only a few bucks a piece. The what I'd do here is I'd weld just the one weld, like on the top. Then I go back after, clean it up, and then I'd fill in all the other welds. And I'm using just a inexpensive Harbor Freight welder that I had modified. It only had a 10% duty cycle, and I modified it. I put a muffin fan, or I don't know, they're like an oversized computer fan that runs on AC instead of DC, and I wired it into the power supply. So as soon as you plug it in, it starts running, and it blows outside air in and forces all the hot air out the vents. So essentially, my welder has become a higher duty cycle. I could use it virtually nonstop, and haven't had any problems. I've had it for several years now and had really good results with it. Although I occasionally kink the wire and have problems with the wire. You'll see at some point in the video here where I have to stop and mess with the welder because the wire got kinked, and that was a little bit of a hassle on its own. Uh, Otherwise, you can see I got the end bars, I believe, are 44 inches apart, and they're 6 inch. The short bars that I'm welding on right now are 5.5 inch space between that bar and the next bar. The mid-length bars are 11 inches from the ends. So I wanted it kind of spaced out and like a repetitive pattern. This seemed to work fairly well. After I got the whole thing welded up, it looked really bottom heavy, like there was too much negative space in the fence, because the only part on the top I had was these two bars that I'm putting on right now. My wife ended up suggesting throwing some ones in the middle. To me, it still looks a little offset, but that's okay. It still looks pretty good. And I'm trying really hard not to show you my plumber's crack here, but it is what it is. And anyways, so I welded every surface where every bar came in contact and could be welded. So on this side of the gate, the top two or the side welds, then a little bit later on, I flip the whole gate over and weld all the other surfaces. So basically every point of contact is welded to every other point of contact, just to add strength. And then I ground like I said, I ground the ends down about a 45 degree angle or so. Took a little chunk out of them so I could actually fill the gap or backfill with the weld. I just really want to make sure it's nice and sturdy. I want this thing to stick around for a while. I want it to look pretty decent. It's not perfect, but it's not too bad. I got this whole gate done in about a weekend and a half. I spent one evening cutting all the lengths of all the bars and a little bit of time drawing up a sketch. And then I spent my welding helmet fell off, so I tightened it onto a hat. Anyways, I spent the better part of probably 6 or 8 hours over the course of a weekend welding this thing up, doing a ton of grinding. I am not a welder, so I'm not afraid to say I did a lot of grinding. The welds didn't look horrible, but this welder doesn't have a shield gas of any kind, so it kind of is what it is as far as the welds go. You get a fair amount of splatter. And I am using a flux core welding wire, which I'm really not that excited about. I do have a combo machine coming that's a arc welder, TIG welder / plasma cutter. I got off eBay for a few $100. I'm kind of interested to see if it works at all. So other than that, I try to get through. I didn't want this video to be 12 hours long, so I tried to get through it fairly quickly and sped the whole thing up 800%. This is just part one. And oh, that's just a wooden bench under there, and I threw a fiberglass welding blanket that I had just purchased over the top of it so I didn't catch it on fire, so I could actually have something to stand it up. My shop is just a disaster, and I can't do a project this size in it right now. But anyways, all right, here I'm having problems with the wire feed on my welder. So just doing some more cleaning up, doing some more welding, and trying to get everything cleaned up the best I can. Part two of the video is going to show a bit of the grinding and finishing. I did not get the whole thing shot as far as footage goes. I did, and because it was cold outside, the battery life of my camera was like 15-20 minutes. Yeah, I think I might have got 25 minutes out of my first couple shots. It just didn't last long. It kept dying on me, so I put it in, charge it, upload the footage, so on. So anyways, click somewhere on the screen to subscribe, also to watch the next one.